Thanks, Sandra, and thank you all for allowing us to join you today. Well, you're right, it is a job interview, and as any job interview, the first part of it is to often tell the prospective employer about your background. Who are you? What have you done that makes you think that you can do this job as governor? I, of course, am a Colorado native. My parents were actually born here in Denver, Colorado. I went to school here. I went to Northeastern Junior College when I left Holy Family High School, and I went on to the University of Northern Colorado and graduated in 1970, started teaching school in Jefferson County at that point in time. I guess I should back up and say that actually when I was about 16, I think, I started sweeping the park at Elitch Gardens. And Elitch's was a place that if you just came back, you could go up that corporate ladder very quickly. So just come back. And so I did. And you know, today sweeper, tomorrow cuddle up operator. And after a while, I actually became the summer manager of the park and stayed there for 10 years. And it did put me through college. I guess the only reason I mention that is because maybe, just maybe, operating an amusement park is the best kind of experience you're going to have to get in politics. A possibility. But I went on from there and did get elected to the Colorado legislature in 1976. I served 3 terms. I was appointed to the Joint Budget Committee on the 3rd term. I previously held the position as chairman of the Education Committee in the Colorado legislature. And being on the Joint Budget Committee, I must say, is a challenging and very, very rewarding experience. It's probably the best part of being in the legislature, because it truly is the most powerful thing in the legislature. 10 seconds, okay. I went on to work for Ronald Reagan, ran the U.S. Department of Education's regional office. I ran for Congress after running the Independence Institute, and here I am. Okay, 10 seconds.
Mr. Mayor.
Hi, thank you all for having us here, giving us your time. I'm running for governor because I think I'm the person that can turn this state around faster than anybody else. And in a funny way, my unique resume has kind of set me up for this, right? I came out here as a geologist in 1981. Price of oil collapsed, our company got sold, everyone got laid off. For those of you who've been laid off, you know it's like getting kicked in the gut. You don't just bounce out of bed the next day and go on a job interview. And for me, I couldn't find a job. I had to reinvent my career. We ended up opening a wine brewing company 2.5 years later when I couldn't find any jobs. There were no jobs in geology. And those next 15 years of building a restaurant business, we opened a restaurant for Collins, Cooper Smith's, and Phantom Canyon Brewing Company, Colorado Springs. Then we will open around the country, but learning how business works and learning customer service. There's no margin in having enemies. You're going to treat every customer like you want to have they're important, you're going to have an ongoing relationship, was really great training for politics. And I got goaded and coaxed into running for mayor in 2003 because, well, if we don't take responsibility for our political system, those who have been blessed aren't willing to go in there, go back and give some 5 or 10 or 15 years of our life and take the lessons we've learned in business, we're never going to get government to succeed. And over the last 7 years, the city government, we've made it smaller and more effective. We have, with all the baby boomers retiring, 7% fewer employees than we had when we started. And I think that's what we've got to do with the state. Right now, the state has to reinvent itself the same way I did when I was laid off. We have to rebrand ourselves. No one anywhere in the state wants to increase taxes, and yet we don't have enough money in any part of the state budget. We've got to be pro-business, but also pro-environment. We've got to be pro-business and pro-neighborhood. And in the end, my experience, I think, prepare me to make that, help the state go through that transformation. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Mr. Maes.
Good morning, and thank you for having us, and it's great to be here. I'm going to try to one-up the mayor as best I can and say that I'm even better for turning around the state of Colorado. And what makes me right for Progressive 15 anyway, as I was just chatting with someone earlier, is my background probably matches the demographics of what you represent. I was raised in a little town of 800 people in northern Wisconsin. It was surrounded by dairy farms, and one of the favorite things I loved to do was to go out and work on my buddies' dairy farms, milking the cows and shoveling you-know-what from you-know-where, which I think prepared me even better for what I'm doing now. And we went up to great to be here.